Welcome back, friends, to the Plagued Eldritch Anecdotes. I am your guide, Ariana, and I'm gonna vent for a second here, okay? I'm gonna vent about some behind the scenes things here before we get into our stories. First thing being, what a week. I started classes again, so I'm taking 3 classes at once, and I'm still getting used to the schedule. Um, this week it's all about like the syllabus and quizzing on the syllabus quizzes on what the professors expect. Next thing being, it's not really a complaint, but it's more of like kind of sucks. Not for me, but my oldest kiddo, she got sick, so she was beating a fever over the weekend and the rest of the cold this week. Um, but my biggest thing that I'm going to vent about and complain about is the fact that I, behind the scenes, recorded you guys this wondrous episode for this week. And it was perfect. So perfect, you could touch it through the screen. And I was ready to edit for you. And I was going through the videos just to make sure everything went like it was supposed to. Tell me why the audio did not work. If it's not one thing, it's another. It's the space and the setup. It's the audio. It's the video. It's the lighting. One day, these ducks of mine will all be in a row like I keep trying to do. But it's okay. After fin-doodling with everything, I'm over here smacking the crap out of my microphone. After fin-doodling with everything, I figured it out and I got the audio to work. It was crazy. It was just like screaming at me like almost staticky. Whole episode. Every single video. So now you get a redo. You get a fresh your memory on the stories you didn't even get to hear because the audio didn't go through. But that's okay. Speaking of spaces, how are we feeling about this one, you guys? My desk came in, so I'm able to set up my light. I'm able to put my candle up. I've got my wondrous background here in a comfier chair and not a stool that I was going to fall out of because one of the wheels is broken and missing. This is nice, and I can wheel you guys around on my desk. Shake it a little bit, but I have the locks on, so I can't really wheel you right now. But tell me what you guys think of the new setup. It's a little more comfy. It'll get better with time. I'm trying to rearrange a couple things. I have a bookshelf coming for my movies because I'm tired of them being in this storage bin. I want to see them and I want to put my pictures back up. And then once that comes, I'm going to get a love seat for my space. And so then I'm really going to be comfortable sitting with you guys on my desk. But that's really it for my venting. Moving forward, I am going to have special themed episodes, especially with like certain holidays coming up. Um, Obviously, Valentine's being kind of like that first one coming up. So I do plan on doing a Valentine's Day special. You guys are more than welcome to suggest stories that you would like to have read or deep dive through like mythical stories and stuff. You can leave it in a comment below, but of course, as always, submit it through the submission form that is linked to this YouTube channel or on my Instagram. That would be the best way to do so. or movies. Like if there's a movie in the paranormal realm that you want me to talk about, just ask if I've seen it. If I haven't, I'll let you know and I'll watch it. I will do that and we can have a special theme on those as well. And then I am working on a Stranger Things special episode. That one's going to be a while. I would say it will be ready by spring break because let's be honest, Stranger Things was a cinematic beauty for a TV show. Okay, let's not lie to ourselves. And there's a lot to nitpick. So I really want to make sure that we're touching on the right things there. And speaking of stories, this week's stories are kind of some uncharted randomness of Reddit. Every story is from Reddit. We've got it from things that they did when they were kids that freaked out their parents. We've got demons, and we've got possible possessions. So with that, let us begin. Hi friends. I'm glad you get to watch the intro video and now you get an intro part 2. I want to first, before we start on our first story, apologize to you guys because I was supposed to have this ready for Friday. Like I said in the intro, my kids got sick over the weekend, and then eventually it hit me like a brick out of nowhere, and I was down for the count. And then on top of that, with school starting, of course, so it's just a lot happening at once. But I'm feeling a little bit better now. My throat is still kind of like dry, um, but I was just running a really high fever, and my stomach was killing me. So I just wanted to deeply apologize for a very, very late episode. But going forward, we should still be on track with everything, so you'll get an episode 5 Friday next week. But with that being said, let's start our first story. It is, like I said, from Reddit under r/paranormal, and it was posted 6 years ago by A Wild Wags, titled, I have an update on things happening in my house. I've posted on here before about the strange and creepy things happening in my house, but something big happened. The other day, I was home with only my pups. Around 2 p.m., I heard one of my dogs yelp and start whimpering, followed by a huge crash and glass shattering. I run out there to see my biggest dog, an English Mastiff, sprawled out on the floor, and this huge picture we had hanging above the fireplace was knocked off the wall. Now, the weird things. 1. Samson, my Mastiff, has to be taken to the vet for some small cuts from the glass. But while we were there, they told us that he had bruises from getting hit or whacked by something. We assumed it means he got hit by the painting. 2. The painting was hung by a very heavy-duty hook that was put into a stud. It should not have fallen down. And it's high enough that even I couldn't bump it or knock it down. 3. The glass shattered before it hit the ground, and it was spread way farther than it should have. We found pieces of it all the way across the living room and hall. 4. I heard a loud bang before the glass shattering. I believe something hit the picture before it fell, or something hit it, making it fall. 5. Samson is the same dog that has been seeing things or reacted to things in the past. 6. The crucifix we had on the mantle broke into 3 pieces, and it was laying under the picture. I want to see what others think, because I think I'm going crazy, but these things can't be a coincidence. And that's all OP wrote. Let's see. With the technical difficulties, that we were having a week ago about, I was trying to find the OP's original post about things happening in their house, but I could not find anything on that little bit of rabbit hole. I am still searching on that because I want to know what else has happened in his house. But yeah, I couldn't find anything. But if we're reading this backwards, right? Let's see. We're reading this backwards from 4. It is numbered, by the way. On the weird things, it says 4. I heard a loud bang before the glass shattering. I believe something hit the picture before it fell. 3. The glass shattered before it hit the ground. That means there was the thud, the glass shattered, and then it hit the ground. The painting was hung on a stud, so then it hit the ground and hit the dog while it was hitting the ground. And then I am assuming, from how it sounds like, the crucifix we had on the mantle broke into 3 pieces and was laying under the picture. I'm thinking the thud was the crucifix first. So loud bang, boom, then the glass shattered on the picture, and then the picture was tossed on the ground as well, right? Or both at once. Crucifix picture, glass shattering. Unexplainable. But I really wish OP had a link letting us know about the other posts. They're very active in other Reddit sections. Sections? Is that what you would call it? I don't know what to call them. Subgenres on here. But I could not find that. So I'll keep an eye on it. A lot of people in the comments are saying to get the dogs out, go through the house with some sage, put some salt around your house and around your things, sleep with salt under your pillow. One person said if you're concerned that it's a malevolent spirit, to contact a priest. And OP did reply to that saying that they did a few times call a priest, in fact. So it's quite interesting, and it's really sad that the doggies are getting attacked. I feel like animals, just like little kids, are very susceptible to seeing and hearing things more than we can. But depending on what's happened in this house and what your dog has encountered, it's obviously got some sort of vendetta towards the dog more so than OP and whoever lives with OP. Yeah, someone else on here says the crucifix broke into 3 places. It sounds demonic, which is the mocking of a Trinity, right? So it's the mocking of the Trinity. That person definitely needs to do something about it. Someone also commented that maybe you should set up some cameras around your house. And OP says, we have some, just not in the living room. It seems like such a useless place to put it. You have cameras around your whole house, but the living room? Why? That's like the first place I would put a camera. I don't know what you guys, but I don't see anything wrong with having a camera throughout your entire house. Like, even in your kids' rooms, obviously, you changing your clothes and stuff, maybe teach them to go into the bathroom or have it angled where they can still have a side to the privacy and stuff. Even for yourselves, have one side of the room be more of a private side for you. But, like, in my mind, if I were to put cameras in my house, the last places I would be thinking of for cameras would be the bedroom and the bathroom. It would be the second one. First places I would be thinking would be the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, office, obviously outside. So yeah, it's just odd for me to hear OP say that he doesn't have one in the living room, where it seems like that's kind of where it's taking place. I mean, an English Mastiff is a really big dog. I'm not saying the dog doesn't sleep in OP's room or anything, but it's really hard, especially depending how old they are. And he did say, let's see, did he say how old Samson was, or he's the oldest dog? No, he just said my biggest dog. Okay. I mean, depending how old Samson is, it's really hard for big dogs to want to be up and down a lot in rooms. They like to just be able to plop and be comfortable. But you have those few that like to be lap dogs as well. But I don't know. I wish OP had put more into this one. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think OP has a angry spirit, a demonic spirit in their house? What are you taking from these clues? I want to know. I want to know how big the painting was, and exactly like I want to see this layout, because obviously the mantle had to be here if the picture was hanging up here, and he said it was high enough for him to not bump it himself, and obviously the dog. So the mantle had to be at least in between like the middle of the wall, and then the painting and everything above that. So I wish we had more of that. That is our first story. And we're going to keep moving along. Okay. Our second story is coming from r/paranormal encounters, shared with us a month ago by Party18712, titled, Did I Encounter a Possessed Woman on Duty? I responded to a trailer park for a trespass call. The caller said a woman was in his home and not responding to him. When I arrived, I spoke with the caller, who said he was barbecuing on the side of his home with his son and saw a woman enter his house out the corner of his eye. He went inside and found her standing in the kitchen with her head down, mumbling unknown words, and her hands were shaking. When he demanded she leave, she didn't move an inch, almost like he wasn't even there. When I walked into the house and searched from top to bottom, there was nothing. The back door was slightly open, so I assumed she slipped out the back. The homeowner was satisfied that she was gone and didn't want to file a report. I asked for assistance to check the area. I didn't know if she was in crisis or having a medical emergency. As I turned onto Cloak Road, I don't know if I said that right. As I turned onto Cloak Road around the corner, I spotted her off the roadway. She was barefoot and sweating profusely while shouting random words and pointing aggressively at the ground. As my partner and I neared, her voice shifted in tone, as if a different person was speaking through her. Every time I inched closer, she jerked her head away. She wasn't responding to my words, so I reached out to guide her further away from the road. She dropped to the ground and began crawling and spitting. To keep her safe from passing cars, we had to restrain her. During the chaos, our eyes locked, and I felt a sense of helplessness and despair. As my partner tried to soothe her, she snarled and bared her teeth. I began praying for her, and each time I formed a sentence, her eyes darted to me and she would slash violently. As sirens of the medic got closer, she stopped. She was ultimately taken in for evaluation. I've dealt with individuals in crisis many times, but this one felt different. So what do you think? You can check. Oh, I'm not gonna read that last sentence of the story, because we'll go further into that. But that is the end of OP's story. Um, First things first here. That street name, I don't know if I said that right. It's spelled Klauke. Kind of like, almost like Klaus, but with a K. Clouk. Clouk Road. Clock Road. You can decipher that for yourself. I probably mispronounced it. Second thing is, trigger warning too for this story. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I don't think I did. I don't remember. It could be substance abuse, right? She did something, kind of has her not all there, and she's just wandering into people's homes and obviously acting a little out of hand. But I'm not ruling it out that it's possible that she is possessed. Um, I wish OP put into the story some detail about his previous encounters with people who have had crisis, just not like encounters, but like things he's um behaviors and things like that of that nature, how they've acted during those moments, um, where they drop into the ground and crawling and spitting, were they lashing out violently? That's what I would like to know, which I would assume, but I want to compare and contrast the behavior. But the thing that's getting me in this story is still the crawling and spitting, crawling on the ground and spitting. But it was, where was it? As my partner and I neared, her voice shifted in tone as if a different person was speaking through her. Now, what did she sound like before? Did she sound like someone who was having a normal uh crisis and then it kicked in? How many times did this happen? Another question is, why did she stop when the medic got closer? Like, is it a familiar sound or anything? So I picked this story because I really want you guys to tell me what you think on this one. I really want you to kind of decipher this one for me. I can see it either way. Um, I'm picturing it like one hand, it could be substance abuse. Second hand, could be paranormal, could be a possession, or both. I'm kind of stuck in the middle ground of both. Um, I feel like maybe this lady did something that she wasn't supposed to do. Obviously, it made her vulnerable, and now here we are with her getting taken in to be evaluated. You know? So, let me know what you guys think on this one for the comments down below. A lot of the people were saying, oh, sorry, let me shift you. I'm going to shimmy you guys just a wee bit here. It's kind of stuck on the cord. Okay. Alright, there we go. A lot of people on here are saying that it's most likely her mental health or substance abuse. A few people are saying, well, that possession couldn't be ruled out, but it's hard to tell as well. Um, yeah, a lot of people are like, I wouldn't jump to assuming someone's possessed as an LEO. And one person did say, um, sounds like she could have been, and psych meds probably would get rid of the demon. My other thing about this, I'm saying that a lot, my bad. I'm also looking at this as, um, what was the feeling like when they locked eyes, right? Because he says that they locked eyes and it just felt different. What about it felt different? Like, did you get a pit in your stomach or like nervousness? I just want to know. But and someone on here was kind of following along on that too. They put the feelings you had when you locked eyes with her. If you examine and process that in a journal or even notes app, what did you think caused those emotions to arise in you? So that's, and then they kind of just asked OP some more questions. But yeah, a lot of people are voting against OP on this one. I'm middle ground. I'm kind of with the one commenter, commenter. Say that 8 times fast. About um, yes, could be a possession, and she could have just turned to some sort of substance to help her drown it out, and then just kind of got lost along the way on that. Um, Someone also said that he's lucky to have prayed for her. What happened when you did that? Like, I know it says I began praying for her, and each time I formed a sentence, her eyes darted to me, and she would lash violently. But it's like, how how was that movement? Was it very um like you? I don't think it happens like it does in the movies, obviously, but to paint a picture when she was lashing out violently when you would pray for her. You know, in the movies, like when someone's on substance abuse or just kind of mentally just not there, they kind of have more of like fluid body movements when they're kind of losing control of the situation. That's how I want to know. I'm like, was she kind of more fluid, or is she more tense, like in horror films, where the body movements and jerks are like very. If you're trying to prank scare somebody, jump out at them. Um, Very. I don't. It's not like really robotic, but more stiff, like if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you guys let me know. What did you guys think about that story? And we're gonna keep moving forward onto story number 3. And before we go to story number 3, because I'll forget this, um, one LEO is a acronym for law enforcement officer. I think I said LEO, but I didn't explain that. 2, OP here, Party of 18712, does have a YouTube channel himself, and that's what that last sentence of his story was. It's like, you can check out the full story on my channel. So obviously, if you guys want more of this story to get more input about it, you would have to go to their YouTube channel. Um, this is just my opinion on what I think about OP's story, just based off what he has typed into this Reddit um, subgenre. I have subscribed to his channel. He does have some really good things, a lot of cool little paranormal and true crime videos on there. Um, I'll show you guys here. I'll put a video here so you can see real quick what I'm talking about. But yes, let me shoop it about, shoop it about, shoop it about. Wait, how do I do this? We're all going on a roller coaster ride right now. So, but yes, so this is his YouTube channel, Policing the Shadows, Real Police Stories and Podcasts. It looks like he's been doing this for just about a little over a year, maybe going on 2 years here soon, because there are videos from a year ago and there's some videos that are like 11 months ago. So it looks like he's about to hit the 2 year mark. Um, he's got quite a bit of videos, 63 videos and 3.43K followers. So I highly suggest jumping on his train here. and just diving into that as well. I think you guys might find this pretty cool. Um, but yes, he is right here. It says law enforcement across the country, and they share their most chilling firsthand encounters with things you just can't explain on the official report. So that's really cool. What they see on the reports, they turn into an investigation. So check it out. Subscribe at Policing the Shadows on YouTube. So yeah, you can see he's got quite a bit of videos here. Um, while we're here, before we go into the next story, I would like to show you guys another good YouTuber that has really awesome uh, video footage of paranormal. Some with sources, some without sources. And you can see it here, Nuke's Top 5 with the millions of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs for my kids, um, especially my son. But this is Nuke's Top 5. Um, my best friend Jessica put me onto him like 10 years ago, and I've been addicted to him since. Um, you can see 4.75 million subscribers, all the stuff that'll keep you up at night. And like me and my husband, this is our religion, which is Nuke's Top 5. He is our religious uh, fire here in our household. As soon as he drops a video, we're on it. But I mean, yeah, he's hit his decade mark, and he's got so many good ones. So many good ones. Let me click videos here. He used to put them out like back to back every week. But I know he's been busy the last couple years, so it's been like every couple weeks or every month or so. So if you don't see a video immediately, like you see a month, he's a busy guy. I don't know what he does off the screen, but you'll have plenty to watch before you catch up. But yeah, he's got so many crazy cool videos that you're just like, what the heck? And some of these videos just leave me in my nightmares in the worst conditions. I think one of his videos made me physically jump, and it wasn't even anything scary. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. If you guys want to know about it, I'll tell you. So you're gonna have to let me know in the comments if you want to know about it. And then the other one that really stuck to me that I can remember I could not sleep for like a week was there was this one of his videos we were watching, and the guy was chasing the ghost in an abandoned um I don't remember if it was abandoned psych ward or hospital of some sort. And I want to say he was chasing a jinn. So he was of like, what is that, Middle Eastern religion, right? Chasing a jinn. And they go after it. Like certain cultures, they go towards the spooky thing. He's yelling stuff at them, right? So that's what this guy was doing in his language. He was charging it and yelling at it, and it would just like disappear before his eyes. And then I remember he was freaking out, and he's walking down the hallway of this hospital, and he turns into this like room kind of. He wasn't all the way in, but he like turns through the door, and if you're like looking in the door, you can like see a few beds, and then you see this girl back towards him, long, not like long, but like shoulder length black hair, just sitting on this bed, and he's saying his things in his language, and he's like going into the room, and as soon as he like physically is in the room, this thing, this girl, doesn't turn, doesn't stand up. It just drops its head backwards, and it's got like the smiling corpses, like like this big, and the eyeballs are pure white, and it's just smiling with its head backwards. I lost it. I was like, I cannot. Um, that image is so ingrained in my brain that I literally had nightmares about that specific video for like a whole week. But yeah, so check out Nuke's top 5. If you guys like Nukes and you get addicted, let me know. Shout out to Nukes. But yeah, let's go on to our next story here. And ooh, okay, so on to our next story. This one is under r/paranormal encounters, posted by Dizzy Duke, and this one was posted a month ago, so a little more fresh for you guys, a little lengthy too. This one is titled, I summoned a demon named Diana when I was 15. I grew up in a very Christian household. When I was about 15, I played with the Ouija board for the first time. My friend insisted it would be fun, even though I didn't believe in any of that stuff. Little did I know this night would change everything for me. My friend explained to me that her family had this Ouija board not for playing, but to keep the spirits inside. I didn't believe anything she said, not a word. She explained how her family wasn't supposed to play as they were natives, but since I'd never seen one, we could sneak into her room and play. It was probably around 10 at night. We set out candles all around us, and she said some kind of chant as we circled the board. After we called upon spirits, she looked at me with a serious face and told me that if a woman named Diana showed up, we had to stop playing. I was still thinking this was all fake, and I laughed at her. She tried to explain that it was serious, but I wasn't having it. We played, and the first couple of people were normal. I thought she was faking it and making it move. Well, the fourth person we get, her name spells out Diana. My my friend freaks out and starts crying and demanded we stop and say goodbye. So we did. For some reason, I kept feeling this really strong urge to play again and talk to her. I thought sorry. I thought my friend was trying to scare me. She told me this woman was really tall, with long dark hair, how she had no eyes, and her jaw was dislocated and hanging from her face. Again, I'm thinking she was just trying to scare me, and I convinced her to try one more time. I grabbed a pen and paper. I needed to know just how real this was. Diana agreed to let me ask her questions. I asked her age, 24. I asked her some other basic questions, but I really only remember the last one. I asked Diana if she remembered how she died or who killed her. She spelled out murder. I asked her again, who? She started slowly spelling out devil. It spelled it 3 times, getting faster each time until it flew up and hit the door. At this point, I was 100% convinced Diana was this evil spirit my friend tried to warn me of. Shaken, I grabbed my phone and I started typing in all the information Diana let me write down. Sure enough, Diana was stabbed to death over 20 times by her boyfriend. In his mugshot, he had a tattoo across his chest that said devil. I was so scared I asked my friend to keep the lights on. She turned on the TV onto That 70s Show, and I slowly drifted to sleep, but I didn't sleep for long. My body jolted awake, but my brain was screaming, don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. The lights were on still, so I could see the brightness of them through my eyelids until a shadow started to hover over me slowly. I felt hair covering over my I felt hair coming over my face. I could feel it so close that I thought maybe my friend was pulling a prank on me. I flipped over so fast I could. I flipped over as fast as I could, burying my face in the bed. I shook her leg, and she was still lying next to me. I whispered her name. Psst, psst, wake up. She quickly responded, quiet. She's here. She said nothing else. I cried myself back to sleep. We never talked about it, and I never went back to her house. How are we feeling on that one? I like this one. This one, first, I like that they put on that 70s show to calm them down, right? It makes me think of, oh, my back. It makes me think of my story that I was telling you guys last week about how my friend and I put on Fresh Prince of Bel Air to kind of like wind us down from the horror movies, and then that incident happened. Um, but it's quite interesting the description that her friend gives her of Diana. I want to know how the friend knew what Diana looked like. More so, it's probably from family telling her what she looks like, right, to keep her from playing with the Ouija board. Um, and also, OP here, kind of like laughing in her face about the seriousness of Diana is insane. Because, like, this is supposed to be your friend. I can understand like a quick little giggle. You're just like not sure, like an uncomfortable giggle. But straight laughing is crazy to me. I would have been like, you know what, we're not playing with this Ouija board because you're not taking me serious. However, the description of the tall lady is interesting because she asked questions, right? OP asked questions and searched it. And she was stabbed over 20 times by her boyfriend. If she was stabbed 20 times by her boyfriend, how was her jaw dislocated? So that to me tells me that this might not actually be Diana. This is something like incognito, being an imposter and pretending to be Diana. The story she found might be real, but the thing she spoke to is not that person. That's what I'm feeling on that one. Um, because I feel like if someone passed away like that, I understandably get if they were still lingering around and haunting someplace, but not to that degree. You know what I mean? There is absolutely no way a spirit is physically, um, like physically that noticeable where things are touching you more than, I mean, like obviously if you go ghost hunting, you're gonna feel the touch and stuff. Usually it's kind of like gentle, you know. Aggressive spirits might give you more of a shove, but I don't feel like the intensity would be that deep, if that makes sense. It kind of makes me think like the manifestation of it, if there was a scale for it, the manifestation, I feel like your normal spirits, even your aggressive spirits, would give you a good 50% of their energy, right, when it comes to physical touch. But if you're seeing a full shadow and you're feeling hair on you and like, I don't know, breathing down your neck or something, that's giving you like 75 to 100 on that scale, which is insane to me. But just my opinion, I haven't had, I've had a couple experiences that are like at that 50% line, but yeah, nothing this intense or this deep, um, physically on me. Seeing things, different story. Hearing things, different story, obviously, but interesting that she would say that. Also, there was something else I wanted to. Oh, OP knew her friend and her family are natives. I really shouldn't have to say anything more. Okay, we all know our friends in the native community know more about spirits and demons and nature than anybody else. So the seriousness of Diana coming and her, I mean, why would you put that in your story? Why would you even like she didn't have to tell us her friend was native, but that right there alone, that little key word should have said it all for her. Um, Even in that moment, you know, then and now, that should say a lot for her. They are so in tune with afterlife and everything. It is insane, you know. But not everybody knows how to do everything, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to know what you guys think. Down in the comments, they asked the same thing. Why would her face be hanging off, her jaw be hanging off of her face if she was stabbed to death? And then OP was responding. I don't think it was Diana. Maybe something trying to be her. She didn't actually see the spirit because she kept her eyes closed. Um, Something else is the one comment on here that got me was Diana is the stupidest name for a demon I've ever heard. But a lot of people were like, yeah, well, you're not gonna, like, they're not gonna gain your trust by giving them their full, authentic names. So they're gonna gain your trust by telling you something easy and simple that's believable. That's what they were saying, which is true, right? Like, Diana's an interesting choice, but like, hey, like I said, she apparently, according to OP in her research, did pass away. Something there was lingering, and that's maybe something it latched on to, you know? Um, like the Conjuring movies, right? The demon attached itself to Annabelle. Annabelle was a real person, and it took that form in the doll. So that's kind of how I'm seeing this on here. But you know what? Another thing is too, the description of the person of the demon, um, it reminds me of the haunting of Hill House, I think, with the bent neck lady. If anyone's ever watched that, that's what it also reminds me of. I mean, aside from the unhinged jaw, but it's giving me like bent neck lady beats. Is it The Grudge? I think, where like they found the girl in the closet and her jaw was like off the face. I can't remember. It's been years. There are some shows and movies I'm gonna have to rewatch so I can freshen up my noggin here. But yeah, is anyone else getting that vibe? I really, really want to know if that's what you guys are picturing. What are you guys picturing? Let me know in the comments too on that one. But yeah, let's keep moving along onto our next story. Okay, this is our last story for the night. It's very short, but I still like it because it's a topic we have kind of touched on before, and I think it is a little weird. Not weird. I'm weird, but I like how off-putting it feels, and that one, I know I can relate to it, and two, I have small children, so it makes me sit here and think like, have I had my kids say or do anything in similar nature? All right, let's see here. Under r/ghost stories, posted a year ago by Evan LTA, titled I don't believe in the paranormal. However, I cannot explain the story my parents recently told me. My parents only just recently told me a story about something that happened when I was around 2 years old. When I was around 2 years old, I would often say, our neighbor's mother will come by soon, whilst playing in the living room. I would say it during random moments of the day, on random days of the week. This went on for about a year or so, and once during that year, my mother, a bit creeped out at that point, would ask me, why is she coming by? To which I would just respond with, she is angry. What neither me nor my parents knew at the time was that our neighbor's mother had actually passed away not long before that. I don't actually remember this myself, but rather because my parents, who told me this story, they have certainly not forgotten what happened in that year. That's it. It was very short, very brief, but I think it's kind of interesting. Um, Random moments of the day, random days of the week. That just tells me something was preparing him or her, him, because I said the name was Evan, um, preparing him for the neighbor's mother's passing. And then it's just interesting, right? Like, that's how I'm seeing it. There's really no other way because he was doing it for about a year or so. And then in that time, the mother passed. So that's that little intuition, the little insight the kids around those ages, between age 1 and I would say at least 8. Oh man, kids are so sensitive to things. It's insane. My kids haven't done anything like that I could think of where they said anything weird. Like, oh, my kids are kind of morbid already as is, so it's like it wouldn't really be out of the norm for me. But nothing to like a diabolical, creepy level. I know when I was probably this young, I've probably done some crazy things or said some crazy things that my family could not um, explain. I am trying to enlist them to send me the stories because we've got some stories. But you know what? Family sometimes it's hard to kick their butts in gear. But I just want to know what you guys think about that story. I also wanted to see if any of you parents out there have anything that relates to this story as well. Um, Toodles Magoo commented on here and said kids are creepy sometimes. When I was 2, we would drive by this rocking chair factory in our town that had a huge rocking chair replica on the roof. I would tell my daddy every single time that I saw it that I used to rock you in this chair, in a chair just like that when you were a baby. My parents thought it was cute until one day, a couple years later, they found out that they did have a chair like that when he was a baby. Side note, my grandma, my father's mother, passed away just before I was born, and I am named after her. I always tell him, I'm always telling him that what dead people said, what dead people said, and they thought I was a weird little kid. Then I grew up to have my own little weird kids, and that say, then I grew up to have my own weird little kids that said creepy things to me. Tongue twister. But see, that's interesting, right? Preparing. That's another little quick story that has a preparation in it. When she was 2, told her dad about the rocking chair on the rocking chair store, and they found out that that's exactly the same chair that her dad had, and she's named after her grandma. So grandma passed away just before she was born, so she was being prepared to tell dad things from grandma. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And a lot of people are sharing their stories about their kids and or when they were a kid too. But one person that stood out to me in the comments asked, "Did she stop by though? And do you recall seeing her?" That's what I want to know. Like, OP, you gotta go ask your parents if she actually stopped by. Did you see her? We need a miniature update. But yeah, that's all I got, friends. Um, Let me know what you think about these stories this week. Also, I just want to reiterate that I am deeply sorry for such a late episode. I'm gonna get some more water here. I've been drinking my water here and there off screen, but it's not doing me any justice on this dry throat. So thank you for bearing with me on the little hiccups I've had reading you guys these stories. As my good old trusty friend Dusty Thunder says, words are hard, and they absolutely are. Expect episode 5 to drop on Friday. I am gonna stick to the regular scheduled dates. This includes, it might be dropped later than early in the morning though, just because of school. I might have to stay up late to do schoolwork. But yes, keep an eye out for that, you guys. Um, and also the special themed uh, idea, throw those my way. Of course, let me know what you want to hear, want me to dive into. If you find anything, like I said, if you find anything, you can always submit that as well. Submit your stories and experiences on my link on my page here, or if you've got Instagram and it's easier to find it on there, you can find me Sinister320 on Instagram. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah. And you guys, if you want me to derail off of paranormal for a special theme episode, just shoot me a message, um, or leave a comment or something on here or on Instagram, and just say, hey, like, this popped in my head. Someone suggested paranormal true crime stories, so I will try to find some paranormal true crime stories. Hey, maybe our buddy from our earlier story here, I can find some more of his, um, and kind of like summarize it if I don't find it in physical. That was the lock on my wheel, but the table didn't move. um, See if I can find like actual physical stories typed out on that. But yes, I will be very busy. So if I cannot air an episode on time, I will let you know via. Why did I say that like that? Via. That sounds better. Via Instagram post, story, whatever, TikTok, um, Facebook, and yeah, I think that's really it. I can't really tell you on YouTube, but if you have me on any of those, make sure you just watch out for announcements if I have to delay an episode. But I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Gonna get some medicine for this freaking dry throat and some more water. And go grab on maybe some more tacos because I made tacos tonight. And yeah, until next time.